It's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Though I haven't found the great pumpkin yet, but I will before the day is out. We are back with the FNBO Fridays in the Field, brought to you by the Great Big Small Bank. And it's hard to believe it's our last time here, and fall is definitely in the air on the Kamrath operation. And harvest is underway, pumpkin harvest is underway. To me, fall is my favorite time of the year because of this, harvest time. So we bring Jim Kamrath on camera with us, and Jim, great growing season for you.
Yes, it has been, Susan. It's been really good. We're in full swing with the pumpkins as of Monday, and the orders are coming in right and left here. My son Matt has gone to Omaha a couple times already, and we dipped into some corn yesterday. It's just kind of opening up this field here where we live here, and it's going from about 20 to 23 moisture, but it's looking pretty good. I think we'll leave it set for a couple of days yet, and yeah, everything's in full swing. I think it won't be much longer, and you'll see a lot of combines in the field.
Something about just getting those fields opened up gets you ready for harvest, but it also helps prep that field a little bit better.
Well, you know, that's the whole thing. You know, we started, I wanted to start in the morning, and it got to be where it was in the afternoon because you get all the bugs out and everything like that, you know, and it takes a while to get everything organized, and so, but we're slow but sure, we're getting there.
I tell you, the sound of the fans running on the grain bin also tells you that you've got a good crop going in there. And what are you looking moisture-wise right now for this crop when you go to finish harvesting?
Well, like I said, you know, it's running from about 20 to 23 to 24 at this point. And you know, then we'll bring it in, we'll dry it with air, and if it gets too much water, I mean, the corn that we went through here yesterday was 110-day corn. So, we'll dry it down, I mean, with air, and then we'll haul it back out. But, you know, but when we got out into this patch here of corn yesterday, it looks drier than what you think it is. There's obviously a lot of green leaves. Got to shed some of the leaves yet. So, but and it'll work a lot better that way.
What are you looking forward the most when it comes to harvest this year? Probably besides being done.
Not breaking down. No, yeah, being done and everything's standing good. You know, you don't have to fight it. You know, if the wind comes along, you know, we've had that the last couple of years where you know, it's just you creep along, and so hopefully everything goes well until we get to the end, and there's a lot of bushels out there, and yeah, the light is at the end of the tunnel, but it's pretty dim right now. So, but I'm looking for that bright one when it gets there. You know.
Hay crop go pretty well for you this year? Because I remember when we were first here, that first cutting, you had some concerns.
Well, there was, but there was a lot of bales out there. I was really surprised once you get out there, and it surprised me, and which is good. The first three cuttings were, the first two cuttings were really good. The third one kind of fell off. I think it was probably maybe due to the heat. I don't know. Then the fourth one picked up again. So go figure. You know, how do you explain that? I don't know. But as overall, I was really pleased with the alfalfa crop this year. Yes.
Final thoughts from you on this year's growing season altogether?
Every year is a challenge, I should say. But the last couple of years have probably been more of a challenge than this year, simply because, well, like going back to the weather, you know, and the replants and whatever. But this year it went pretty smooth, and like I said, hopefully that at the end we'll be more than satisfied with what we got.
So I talked at the beginning about looking for the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Well, I found the pumpkin master. We've been talking all this growing season, every time we've come out to Kamrath's, about the work that's been done on the pumpkin patch. But now we bring the pumpkin expert in. Matt Kamrath is joining us now, the brains behind these pumpkins. Let's talk about why pumpkins. Why did you and your family get excited about raising pumpkins?
I don't know. I guess it's just kind of an off-the-wall idea one time. We planted some about 10 years ago to sell at our farmer's market. It was just like a jack-o'-lantern size, and it was like a, I don't know, fourth of an acre maybe. It was kind of a small, like a big garden. And it went pretty well, so we thought, well, maybe next year we'll try to do a few more. So we did that, and then we had a bunch left over that year, So I got hooked up with a grocery store in Columbus to try to get rid of them, and he bought most of what I had left. And then I thought, well, that went pretty good, so let's try to expand it a little bit more the next year. So we did. We just kept adding different things, and been doing it for like 10 years now, and it's grown to 2 acres, so it's plenty.
Well, I know that it's a very hands-on, labor-intensive crop to grow, and we saw that this whole growing season with you guys having to go out there and hand weed. Your nephews were out here one day while we were here, and they were weeding. Let's talk about the harvesting process, because that too is hands-on.
It is, yep. Right now it's just Dad and myself picking them, but you know, I pick, I guess, as many as I can on my own, and it is labor-intensive. You just a lot of bending over and lifting, but I think over time, I guess you get used to it. And you know, the weeding part of it, sometimes the kids will come out like on a weekend or something and they'll help pick some, but normally it's just myself or my wife sometimes, and said Dad helps, and the kids when they're don't have school things going on too, so it's just day by day.
Well, I tell you, I appreciate it. My yard does too. So we want to thank, of course, the entire Kamrath family for spending their entire growing season with us, letting us invade their farm as we did from the start of planting all the way through harvest. That's been this week's and my last for the season, FNBO Fridays in the Field.